Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All, educational videos and tutorials. Today I will try to explain you how and when you can use GML visual drag and drop block, which is called Draw Sprite. If you are using GameMaker already, or if you have watched previous tutorials, you know that Sprite is another name for image, picture. So everything you want to be in your game represented with some kind of image, that would be sprite. So your character needs a sprite, and in my case so far it's only a white square. Coins are using sprites or images as yellow circles, enemies are green squares, and so on. So those are all images, pictures, and we call them sprite in almost all game development engines, not only GameMaker. So other than that, we have also learned how you can create objects. So we have sprites, which are images, objects, which are some kind of, let's call them boxes, containers, which contain images, code, music, and everything you need to make your game interactive. So objects are interactive containers, boxes in which you put sprites. That should all make sense so far, and you can create sprites with right clicking, create sprite. That will create an empty container in which you can draw your own image sprite, or import sprite from desktop, computer, internet, Google, or whatever you like. And same with objects, you can right click and create object, and that would be empty object, and then you put into that object some other stuff like sprite, code, music, and so on. So that was a little reminder for all of you who are still a little bit confused with differences. And in our game so far, we in recent videos we have made some kind of zombie spawner, which spawns green squares, which represents zombies, and they are spawned in that way that you can have only one zombie on the screen. Because it's first level, it should be relatively easy, so we have limited our spawner, and also we have some different stuff like objects for these spikes, we have objects for these coins, and so on. So all of those things which you see on the screen are instances of the objects. They are all some kind of interactive, they have some kind of information on them, like code, sprite which represents them, image which represents them, and so on. So you may ask now yourself, okay, so if I want to make my game, I need instances of objects on the screen. That's all cool. So when will I need sprite only? So again, try to make a difference. What is object first, and then what is sprite? Sprite is only image, and you can then be a little bit confused, when will I need sprite only. There are different uses for this, and again, it only depends on your ideas, your imagination, what your game looks like and what you want to be represented in your game. But in short, these images, sprites without object, will be drawn on your screen, and then you won't be able to interact with them. They will be just like some kind of pretty image on the screen, but no interaction on them. We can interact with coins, like we can collect them, but if I have the sprite of coin only, I wouldn't be able to collect that. If I have the sprite of my player, I wouldn't be able to move that player around with my code, like which I have coded here with key down left, move left, key down up, and so on. So sprite doesn't have that. Sprite is just a simple image. Sometimes you will need, for example, to change your background, so you can use draw sprite for that, or you will need to draw some simple environment like a bush or a tree or stone, which is not interactive. So it will be just the image sprite of that tree, of that bush, of that stone, but you won't be able to interact with it. If you want to make interactive tree, interactive bush, interactive stone, you should first make object and then instance that object with sprite in it on the scene. So let's see that finally in action. In my case, I will, for example, I will just draw a sprite of simple coin like we already have here, but here on my screen I have instances of this obj coin, and I want now to create just a sprite, just image. So you can see when you click on sprite, SPR coin or whatever you have in your GameMaker, it's just image. It says edit image, image size and so on. But if you click on obj coin, yes, you have some sprite in it, but other than sprite you also have events, physics, variables, events, and so on. You can add more events and so on, but you cannot add that on sprite. So sprite is basically just a simple image. Okay, so let's finally draw that sprite, and a couple of more important things to be aware. I will show that soon, but first, if I remember well, when I start my game, when we learned previously about variables and instance variables, we coded our obj coin to disappear. Yeah, so you can see how coins slowly disappear on the screen. I will disable that now with first of all I need to zoom a little bit to see it better, and then I will have to find where is that code. So okay, I first set instance alpha, random is okay. Yeah, here set instance variable. Step event. Step event is the event which runs all the time while your game runs on the screen, so it's in it, the code which changes all the time. In our case it's set instance alpha. I will disable it, and this is how you change the transparency, the alpha of your object instance on the screen. Okay, so now my coins on the screen should be visible all the time, and I should be able to collect them, yeah, like this. So we coded this earlier, and we have zombie also. You can learn that in previous videos, but what I need here is that I need you to see that these coins will be interactive. They are instances of objects, and now you will see how we will create some sprite on the screen. So again, for the sprite I will need some kind of simple object to spawn it. I will create object which I will call obj sprite, obj spawn sprite, spawn sprites, and this object I will put it in our room here in the middle, and I will just add draw event. So again, when you have these draw blocks, be aware that you have to put them in draw events. So event, add event, and one of those draw, which one you need. I will use simple draw, and if you put draw event, draw block, sorry, in create event, step event and so on, it will not work. So think about draw event as events which are made for you to draw something on the screen, nothing else. so you can add some complex code in it, but it's not recommended. So I will find this block here under my draw, and it looks like some kind of Pac-Man icon. Draw sprite, and click and drag it here in my draw event. So draw event, draw sprite. Let me zoom a little bit and see what I can pick here. So I can create sprite which I choose. I will choose coin, sprite coin, and you can choose where do you want to create it. So if you put X and Y, leave it as 0, default is 0, it will be in top left corner of your screen. So we can try that. Try first with that, and if you change, for example, put like 120 or something like that, then your sprite will be drawn on that exact location. So you can see in top left corner here, I'm not sure if you can see good enough, I have drawn the sprite of coins. So this one is obj instance, I can collect it, this one too, but on the top left it's just a coin. It's not very smart to use the 0, 0 for this example, so I will use relative checkbox, That means what? That means now X and Y 0 is relative to this item, this obj which I put in my room, in my scene, obj spawn sprites. So now that is the center, that is the 0, 0, and now my coin will be, my sprite will be drawn on top of it. So again, just look what I'm doing now on the screen. I will collect, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coins on the screen. 7 of those are instances of the objects, and they are interactive like this, and you can even see that they have numbers below them. We have coded that earlier, but this one in the middle I cannot collect it. Why? Because it's only a sprite, it's only simple image of the sprite. And again, if you have some kind of animation on it, so if I click here on edit image and put some kind of animation like copy paste to add another frame, and for example if I have I don't know, I can just draw some simple, or maybe smiley face, and now this is animated, so this is frame 1 and this is frame 0, and now I can choose frame 1, but I will have some other problems here because frame per second, and we have to make this, I think it will be animated all the time. Let me check. I have to zero that with the code or with FPS. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can pick frame. You can see how these coins are animated, but the one in the middle, which I cannot collect, is with smiley face on it because I have chosen here frame number 1. So if you had like 50 frames here, you can pick one of those, the one you need. So for example, if I was using some kind of image sprite of a bush or a tree instead of coin, I could for example use tree with apples, tree without leaves, tree with leaves, tree in winter, and so on. So you can pick the frame which you want, and I will try to zero this with FPS. Now I think maybe the animation will not run all the time, or maybe I should use the code anyway. But I have stopped it here, and you can now see the difference here. this coin is on the frame 0, and here this coin is on the frame 1. Simple as that. Again, sprites are images. If you want to draw image only on the screen, not some complex interactive object, and sometimes you will need that, just use draw sprite and put it into draw event. That's it for this video, 15 minutes as usual, and see you in next one.